Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be why it never would be enough. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So many times people post-relationship, they're blaming themselves. They're wondering what they could have done. Should they have done more? Could they have hung in there longer? What if they never stood up for themselves? What if they never said something? What if they never tried to put up a boundary? What if they just took it longer and longer? Well, we now know that that relationship that you were a part of, it was going to expire one way or the other. It was going to end, because just like a stale carton of milk in your refrigerator, that narcissistic relationship was getting staler and staler as time went by. Now, when I say stale, I mean it wasn't what it once was. It was becoming tainted. It was getting saturated with abuse. It wasn't the same pristine relationship that you thought it was in the beginning when you met the narcissist. The narcissist took everything that you possibly could provide for them: your time, your health, your money, your resources, your relationships, your hobbies, your money. They took everything they could from you, and they left you a shell of yourself. They left you holding the bag. They left you blaming yourself. And then, of course, the narcissist also probably blamed you as well for the ending of that relationship, that you didn't do enough. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. Maybe you weren't subservient enough, or you wouldn't listen to them, or that you blew it. All these things the narcissist does to blame other people, it is completely because of their lack of introspection. It's because of their lack of accountability. The narcissist needs to blame other people for their poor behavior. And this is why the cycle will continue to go around and around and around. And the narcissistic abusive cycle, you were a part of it for a period of time, which was the length of your relationship when you were in it. Now that you're out, or you are close to getting out, you really need to understand that getting as far away from these people as you possibly can is the path. When you get away from them and eventually go no contact and block them and delete them and remove them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them, that's when everything returns back to you. Now, does it return in one fell swoop? No. Does it return in one day? Not even close. But as time passes, and as you maintain no contact, and as the clarity appears in your mind, and as you really take a close look at what that relationship was, and you realize that it was what it wasn't what you wanted it to be, and that in fact you were being peppered with abuse day in and day out, week after week, etc. When you wrap your head around that, then a light bulb will click in your mind, and you will eventually practice radical acceptance, and you'll say to yourself, yes, that relationship wasn't what I thought it was. I was looking at the relationship through rose-tinted glasses, perhaps. I was certainly believing in somebody who did not care about me. I was believing in their words and not watching their actions, or lack of action. I kept on giving them more and more chances. I was perhaps a people pleaser, definitely an empath, kind, loving, stable, but I was committed to that relationship. Now again, remember, the narcissist did not walk up to you and give you a 2-page report and hand you this page and say, this is who I am. This is what I've done to so many people before you, and I will certainly do my best to destroy or damage you. And when I'm done with you, I will crumble you up like a sheet of paper. I'll throw you away in the freeway, and I'll go off to another source of supply or another person who doesn't know about narcissism. They never did that. And if they did, would you have understood what they meant? Possibly, probably not, but it would have been a fair warning, like, don't go in a relationship with me. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to destroy you. You probably would have run the other way. You would have said, take that paper, lose my phone number, I'm gone. I don't need to know anything about this, and I want nothing to do with you. No matter how charming you are, or how beautiful you are, or how intelligent you claim to be, or what resources you do have or don't have, means nothing to me, because there are 8 billion people on the planet. I don't need my life to get sidetracked and to get sideswiped and to be diverted off of my path. Again, that's not what happened. The narcissist was wearing a mask. They were manipulating you. They tricked you and trapped you and kept you hostage in that zombie-like, trance-like state, which is the narcissistic fog. It's where the dungeon of horrors began. It's where the abuse was peppered day in and day out. It's where you did not know how to get out of that place, because what you did know is you kept on giving the narcissist more and more of your time, your energy, your money, your resources. You were trying to patch up the relationship. You were trying to fix the relationship, and it would never be enough. The narcissist was testing the temperature of you of the relationship and of the relationships that you were surrounding yourselves with, because the narcissist was trying to fracture your relationships with your loved and trusted ones, maybe even your immediate family members, with your job, your hobbies, with your mindset, with your clarity, with your focus, with your money, with anything that mattered to you. And they did a masterful job trying to destroy your life. Now you may say, why did I say the word trying? Well, they didn't succeed. They failed because you're here. You're getting your cup full. You're on the channel and you're in the community paying it forward and understanding that it wasn't just you who was in the toxic narcissistic relationship. There are hundreds of millions of us. But you are a fortunate person because you saw behind the mask. You cracked the code. You found the needle in a haystack, and now you're healing, or you have healed. And no longer can the narcissist get to you. At least that's my hope, because now you have boundaries. You can say no, the strongest word in the English language. And remember, when you say no to something or someone, you are saying yes to yourself. Play that part of the video, play it a few times. Learn to say no. Learn to focus on yourself, because you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. And no, that's not selfish, and that's not being egotistical. When you've gone through the narcissistic abusive cycle and you've given to a fault, specifically to a person who is trying to destroy your life, you realize that there is toxicity littered all over this planet. And at the top of that list is definitely the narcissist. So that's why you are healing, or you have healed. And that's why you are, or you were, in the cocoon of boundaries. That's why post-narcissistic relationship, you had to slow your life down. You had to be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself. You had to journal, to meditate, to watch videos, to read, to heal childhood wounds, to take stock of all the people that you surrounded yourself with in the past, the present, and whomever you will in the future. And it all started by one catalyst, one relationship. And you guessed it, it was the narcissistic relationship. You see, this is the relationship you'll need to heal from. You will have to really pause and slow your life down and take a close look at everything around you and realize the world isn't the way you once thought it was, it's the way it really is. And when you come through the cycle and you rise through the ashes like a phoenix and you put yourself back together over time, you will see that not only will you be in the third version of yourself, the strongest, most galvanized version of you known to humankind, but you will see humanity for the way it is, and you will stop giving people multiple chances. You will stop sending people money. You will stop being guilted and giving people rides. You will stop picking up the phone at 5 o'clock on a Friday after you get out of work and have an energy vampire zap your energy for the weekend. You will stop answering emails on a Sunday night when the boss is trying to pepper you and ruin your week ahead. You will stop giving your siblings, who perhaps are toxic, multiple chances to have you drive 10 hours to go visit them on a holiday. When you get there, all they're asking is, why didn't you bring more gifts? Or how come you bought this food? You should have bought this food. You see, people were probably using you and taking advantage of you throughout your life. And then lo and behold, you met the toxic narcissist, and that relationship spun your world upside down. It took you on a roller coaster of emotions, super high, and it dropped you super low. There was no sustainability in the relationship. There was no commonplace. There was no normal. Every single day you were walking on eggshells. Every single day you had to watch what you would say. Every single day you were being questioned. You questioned yourself. You lost your identity. You became an extension of the narcissist, and you were doing everything you possibly could to maintain that relationship, or at least maintain the appearance to the outside world that that relationship was beautiful and loving and kind and stable. It wasn't. And now you understand that the narcissist was manipulating you. They did whatever they possibly could to keep you trapped in that narcissistic fog, and it would never be enough. No matter what you did, it wouldn't be enough. So if you gave them more and more energy or time or money, or put a roof over the head for a longer period of time, it wouldn't have mattered. That relationship still would have fizzled out. It would have deteriorated. They still would have triangulated you. They still would have guilted you and blamed you. They still would have played the victim. They still would have said, woe is me. They would have spun it any way they wanted to get more and more from you. That is why once you see this toxic narcissistic or toxic behavior, you can't unsee it. And now that you found the needle in the haystack, you really owe it to yourself. And the onus is on you to maintain your boundaries, or to begin to put your boundaries in place, and to be kind and gentle with yourself and realize there was nothing more you could have done. That relationship started the way it was supposed to start, whether you know it or not, and that relationship ended the way it was supposed to end. And I know that's a very difficult pill for many people to swallow, but There is no such thing as a coincidence on this planet. I am meant to be consuming this or creating this video in the Carolina woods right now as you are meant to be consuming it. Maybe you're consuming it before you go to bed. Maybe you're just waking up. Maybe you're having a coffee, some water or tea. Maybe you're exercising. Maybe you're out on a walk in beautiful Mother Nature. Maybe you too are in the wilderness. Maybe you're on vacation. Maybe you're on a boat, a train, a plane, an automobile. Who knows where you are? But you're meant to be consuming this right now. You're getting the wisdom. You're realizing that that relationship's ending wasn't your fault. You realized you gave the narcissist multiple, and I mean multiple, chances to change and to improve and to be accountable and to apologize and mean it and to keep their word and to contribute to the relationship rather than to contribute to the blowing up of the relationship. The narcissist at any one time, they have multiple people on the hook. And when I say that, it's not exclusive to romantic relationships. It's friendships, colleagues, coworkers, brothers, sisters, moms, dads, children, everything. Because the narcissist needs control, and they look at people as pawns and puppets. They look at people as ways to manipulate them. They look at people as frail, weak, shallow, and they look at people that if that's their problem. If they're not strong enough to go no contact, if they're not strong enough to tell me no, that's their problem. But when they do that, what happens is there's a big price to pay. Until when? Until you remove yourself from the relationship. That's why you really need to understand, get as far away from these people as you possibly can. Take stock of your life, take stock of your relationships, and realize that you are out of the narcissistic relationship or about to be out, and you need to be grateful and you need to be fortunate because you figured it out. And if you were discarded or you ended it yourself, either way, my heart goes out to you. Either way, you were in the most challenging, debilitating relationship known to humankind. And this is the relationship you will need to heal from. I've said that so many times over the years in videos, because if this was a stable or healthy relationship, you would not have experienced abuse. You would not have experienced toxicity. You would have experienced common ground. You would have experienced accountability. And then the two of you would have gone your own way. Maybe the relationship would have just fizzled out and you never just connected again. Or maybe you would have grabbed that cup of coffee and sat down and talked and said, it's not really working out, I think we should end it. But you don't get that. In the narcissistic relationship, you get mountains of abuse. You get drips of possibility. You get future faking. You get gaslighting. You get the smear campaign, you get ghosting, you get blame shifting, you get projection, you get mirroring, you get financial abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, financial abuse. You get it all from left, right, and center, and you don't know what's going on when you're in these relationships because, of course, you weren't taught this in school. And if you are an empath, and I'm certain you are, you have a high level of empathy, you probably thought that most people thought the way you did. That's how I thought. It's not until you come through the narcissistic abusive cycle and you heal properly in time, in your time when you heal, that's when you look back and say, oh my gosh, that childhood friend, they were sabotaging my relationship when I was 6, 7 years old. That high school friend that was jealous and envious of me, they were telling lies and fibs about me, and guess what that was? That was a smear campaign. My college friends, they weren't my friends at all. They were just using me for the car that I had to give them rides home on Christmas vacation, etc. And my first couple romantic relationships, wow, they weren't that bad. But then that one, wow, I think they were a narcissist too. This is what you do. You will go back in time and you will review things from everybody in your family who is living or who isn't, to childhood friends, neighbors, teachers, acquaintances, colleagues, classmates, people at jobs, people in hobbies and communities and organizations you are and or were part of, and you will really be able to see people the way they are. And post-narcissistic relationship, when you realize there was nothing more you could have done, you could have done nothing to save that relationship. As a matter of fact, flip it. You need to save yourself, because nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to come knock on your door and save you. That's why healing is not linear. That's why most people can't understand what you're talking about. That's why I can finish your sentence in a second, and my hope is eventually you'll be able to finish mine, because we share something in common, which is the narcissistic abusive cycle, and learning the definitions in the glossary, in the terms on the narcissistic abusive cycle. This is a language we did not even know we were being taught when we were being abused, but we understand it and we know it, and we can see toxicity from a mile away. We can understand if we want to speak or we want to observe. We understand our time is the most valuable commodity on the planet, and we realize that the narcissist will just continue to slither on through life, going from other sources of supply to other sources. abusing people who haven't healed, recycling people, popping up here, there, and everywhere, trying to hoover other people to get them to draw back into the relationship, and looking for new clean slates, which is exactly probably what you were, a clean slate, which just means somebody who was believing in humanity, who has a high level of empathy, who didn't realize that another person could actually lie to your face, to cheat on you, to steal from you, and to manipulate you, and to do whatever they could to you because they knew they could do it, because they knew that you didn't know who they were. The narcissist knew who they were from the minute you met them, because they had fine-tuned their skills and their craft of manipulation over the years, maybe even over the decades, and you were the latest new shiny object to cross their path. You were the latest challenge, if you will, that they tried to take from and destroy your life. Well, now that you understand that people are like that, now you have boundaries. Now you go no contact. Now you do more listening than talking. Now you speak when you want to. Now your words are very cautiously and wisely used. Now you don't just pick up the phone because somebody calls. Now you don't just answer an email or a text because someone emails or texts you. Now you think before you act. Now you respond, you don't react. Now you slow your life down, and now you understand who you are, where you came from, where you were, where you want to be, and how to get there. The narcissist took you, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, they took you on a roller coaster of emotions in a turbulent sea of a vast ocean of pitch blackness, and you were the rudder, you were the sail that got them from point A to point B. And as soon as they got wherever they wanted to and took all of your resources, again, includes your time, money, health, relationships, etc., they jumped ship onto the ship of the new supply. They tried to capsize your ship, and they went off into the ocean on another new shiny object, i.e. the new supply's boat. But what they didn't bank on was you putting the holes, plugging up the holes on the boat, looking for the shore, getting your sail and getting your rudder back onto your own ship, which is now a ship of one, and you paddling and working and using the wind and Mother Nature guiding you back to the shore. And the shore, when you reach there, and I'm sure you have or you will, that's where the pinnacle of indifference is. That's where the mountaintop of indifference is. And that's when you look back and you look in the ocean, the narcissist is nowhere to be seen. They're off wherever they are with the new supply, or maybe not even with a new supply, but they're out of your life because the chapter of the book on the narcissist has been closed. It's been sealed airtight. It cannot be reopened, which is why you need to take the lifelong learning lessons from the past. You need to not, and I repeat, not predict the future. You need to live in the present moment, and you need to understand that you should be grateful and fortunate that you're out of that relationship, and that you did everything you possibly could to make that relationship work, despite the fact that the narcissist was doing the exact opposite. They were doing everything they could to punish you for being you. They were doing everything to abuse you because they could, and they never thought you would see behind the mask. Before I close the video, you must remember and you must know this. The narcissist is shallow, they're hollow, they're cowards and bullies. And when I say shallow, I mean they don't care about anybody but themselves. There's no depth to them. They're hollow because there's nothing inside of them. Nothing but a vast wasteland, an emptiness, a pitch blackness. And they know it, and they need to steal your beautiful, bright, shining light to make themselves feel good, to put you down lower than they believe that, lower as low as they can put you down, so it makes them feel better. And then also they're cowards because they never ever will be accountable. They will take the cheapest shots of all time, and they will discard people at the least, the most vulnerable period of their lives. And by the way, nobody should ever be discarded. It's the most challenging thing to go through next to the narcissistic relationship. And a bully, because the bully will kick people when they're down. The bully takes advantage of vulnerable people. Think about the high school bully or the playground bully who maybe was 1, 2, 3 grades older than you, and they picked on you. Why? Well, because you were much younger and probably not as strong as they were. They looked at you as weak and frail, and you probably were an empath. Well, that's what the narcissist did, because they never thought you would figure them out, but you did. So whatever you thought at the end of that relationship that you could have done more, you should have done more, if only this, A, B, and C, X, Y, Z, that relationship was sinking. It was going to end one way or the other. And whenever it ended, I can assure you it was probably the most challenging part of your entire life. I get it. I was there. I know exactly what it's like. But now that you're out and you're healing, or you have healed, you need to look back and reflect and take all the lessons that you've learned. Keep the narcissist and all toxic people at bay. Maintain no contact. Stop giving people other chances. Stop believing that they can change. Stop believing that they ever cared about you or loved you. They don't care about anybody. They don't love anybody because there's no love inside of them, and they have no empathy. They just want to wreck people's lives, destroy people's lives, and keep people trapped in that dungeon of horrors, which is the narcissistic fog. That's why once you escape, you will never go back. which is why maintaining no contact is the path. I love y'all. That's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love y'all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And I fumbled a couple words there at the end because it's a little chilly here, and it's hard to talk when it's chilly. So aside of that, I just want to share, many people think post-relationship, specifically when the narcissist has been removed out of their lives, they believe that, did they do the right thing? Should they have done something different? And they're guilting themselves and blaming themselves, and they're really in a challenging position. I too was there at one point. Eventually, as the fog lifts and the dust settles and your clarity returns, you realize that you had to get out of that relationship. There was no other way. It was going to be you or the narcissist, and they knew that. And you were in an unfair fight, advantage narcissist the whole relationship, until you finally got the message that going no contact will serve you, that the narcissist's words are hollow, they don't mean anything, and that the longer you stayed connected to them, the more you got deeper into that narcissistic fog, and the more you believed you could save the relationship, you could change the relationship, you could improve it, and the narcissist would love you, they would care, they would be a different person. None of that comes to fruition. What comes to fruition is the ending of the relationship with a thought of crash and a bang, and it's you who has to heal, just like it was me. That's why you really need to slow your life down and process the relationship, what it was, and realize that it wasn't what you wanted it to be. It was what it was, and that the narcissist can't change. They only get worse over time. They only deteriorate over time, and all they want to do is destroy people's lives, their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations, their hobbies, their goals, and take their money and time. And that's what the narcissist is doing right now. The only difference is they're not doing it to you. That's why you must maintain no contact. So it would never be enough for the narcissist. You now are understanding that these people are the walking apocalypse on this planet. Get away from them as far as you possibly can. Do it, and do it now. I love you all. God bless you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.